Alright guys, always remember that when you're exceptionally good looking, and everybody should feel really good looking, no one should feel sad about their life, no one should feel like they're not attractive, everybody should feel attractive, but when you're exceptionally good looking, a lot of people will want a piece of you or want something from you, and that's something that you have to remember, that you have to protect yourself, right? And you have to go for what you want, right? Now, a lot of people that are really good looking will say on social media that good looking people only want the best, they only want models, they only want this and that. And that's true for the most part, I would think, but not necessarily. So, if you want to date a supermodel type, there's so many supermodels that date people that are not the most conventionally attractive, right? But in general, I think, it's very important to remember that a supermodel type usually has to dictate what they want, because if they don't, they could be in a big mess, right? But in general, if you know what you want, and you're not necessarily going to want somebody that's just as good looking as you are, but if you do, you should be able to stand up for yourself and find the person you want, right? I think it really makes sense that if we are looking for love and we want love and we're exceptionally good looking, that a lot of people are going to want to love us and be with us, and we're going to be happy when we find someone we want, right? But in general, you do have to remember too that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and not everyone beholds beauty the same way, right? So you might see a supermodel type and think, they're way out of my league, whatever, but that's not always the case, and sometimes it is, right? So it just depends on what they're looking for, what you're looking for. But the thing that I suggest in relationships is always go for who you want to go for, and unless you have consent, there's no point in dating them, because they're not interested if they don't give you consent. But always go for what you want, and if that person gives you consent, then you've got a partner, right? So always go for what you want. And some people really don't care if they're in a relationship or not, because at the end of the day, if they don't want somebody bad, or they don't want somebody that's going to be interrupting their life or livelihood or career or whatever, then they're going to be happier at the end of the day, right? I mean, really, if you have somebody and they're saying to you, oh, you have to date people like me or whatever, and let's say you don't want to, well, then that's up to you, right? So, especially if you're gorgeous, a lot of people will try to say to you, oh, dumb it down, date somebody like this, date somebody like this, but you know what you want, because you know what your type is, and you won't go for that, right? And like I said, some people will go for that as a model. Some models go for people that are not conventionally the standard, and some models hate that, right? So, you just have to it just depends on the model, right? Some models are pansexual, they're like androgynous, or some people like all kinds of types, right? Not every model is the same, right? If you're a model that likes models, then date a model. If you're a model that doesn't like models, then don't date a model. And so the reason why I say to you guys, date someone that gives you consent. Go for your type, but date the person that gives you consent. And if you can wait until you find someone good, or not get someone at all and be okay with that, you're living the best life, because you don't mind waiting for something good to happen. Alright, bye guys. Thank you so much. Bye now. Bye.